All right, folks, so this is definitely concerning. At one point, these detached homes in Caledon, Ontario were purchased at $1.8 million. Now they're marketed at $1.3 million. That's a drop of $500,000 or 28%. So having said that, my number one question is, what were they hoping for? Because at the point of this purchase, right, like in $1.8 million at that time, right, seemed to be chump change, right? It seemed to be a good deal. But my question is, what were they hoping for? I mean, how far did these people predict that these prices will continue to rise? And now once they drop the price to 1.3 million, they specifically are claiming or stating that they do not want no realtors and only direct buyers for this particular purchase. Now, me digging a little bit more, this is not the only property. There are several properties that are hurting and people are trying to sell it and whatnot. So the question here at this point is, who pays the $500,000 gap? So that's the number one question that I have, and is mind-boggling, right? Because Canadians believe that you cannot lose money in Canadian real estate, and here is the proof. And I'll also take you to downtown Toronto waterfront. I just want to talk about something. I'll share my screen. We'll get into the photos and stuff like that. It's a luxury luxury segment, but I just don't understand where these prices are at. Like I just don't get. Do we even have buyers? But we will talk about that in a second. So let's just get into this Caledon property, right? So as mentioned, 28% is down, but what is the actual scenario? Because the closing is in 2027 and the bank says it's worth 1.3, let's say, on closing. So who pays the difference, right? So it's something definitely to think about once this either assignment or direct sale to the buyer is kind of taken over, how much deposit has been already recovered from the original purchaser or original buyer. So those are all questions that I don't have at this point, but the claim is that it's $500,000 less than it was valued at the point of the purchase. So this is probably an early wave. These things have been happening all across the country and Toronto GTA, but now we can definitely see that more and more of these assignment sales, more and more Facebook groups that are called assignment sales, more and more posts from realtors, more and more power of sales are hitting the market aggressively, right? And it just goes to show you, like all these months and years, what we have been talking about and what we were stating, that at a point of no comeback, which I believe we're at this point. What do I mean by that exactly? So the point of no comeback is like once you reach a point where you have to get rid of a property or you have to find a third-party solution in order to kind of exit the current situation. So yes, that means losing money. Yes, that means getting in trouble. Yes, that means paying higher interest rates. Yes, that means maybe bankruptcies. That it can mean so many things, right? But now it's definitely surfacing heavily in our Ontario, Southern Ontario market for sure. So, but another point that I want to bring up here and why I want to diversify is that condo in downtown. I'll share my screen. Let's get into it together just to show you, because I just don't understand what these people are hoping for at this point. All right, so looking at this listing, I mean, nothing is wrong, but we can see that there is a 163 days on the market pattern. Now, it has been reduced to $2,699,000. Taxes have not been assessed yet. But just let's look at the place. They're claiming it's between 16 to 1700 square feet. So from the outside, definitely modern design. Nothing wrong with that. A little bit of copper. This is the actual lobby. So now we get into the actual unit itself. Looking at it, there's nothing extravagant when it comes to finishes. Definitely modern design, but looking at the toilet, at sink, I don't even know if this is quartz or marble, but let's hope at this point, because for $2.7 million, they better accommodate these high-end finishes. But this is the unit itself. So I'm asking you the question, aside from the actual view itself, which is overlooking Toronto Island, and it's right on the waterfront, but this is a small space considering the actual asking price at $2.7 million, right? Yes, these curves here, a lot of light. This is very expensive. From what I understand, people that work with glass, they say to curve glass like this can cost a lot of money. I get all of that stuff. But check this out. You paid $2.7 million and you're having dinner, and like you're sitting basically on a balcony, like or on your own island. Like, I just don't understand like how like what are these people hoping for? Like, my question is, can this even go more than $2.7 million? Like, that's the question, right? Like, let me just go. Yeah, so this is probably the master bedroom. They also, decorated it with some chairs, lounging chairs. I don't know why. Maybe because you don't have a living room, so you have to sit in your master bedroom at this point. This, I can say, it's definitely hotel grade style. But still, I mean, like, come on, guys. $2.7 million. This is probably the second bedroom, which is not big at all. Okay, so now we get into the balcony, right? So this is the balcony. Stunning, fine, a lot of room to play around here and whatnot. How many months can you sincerely use this? Let's be honest. 2 months, 3 months, right? The view, I mean, it's year round, but like being around December, January, and February, this is not something I don't know. Like, it just doesn't make sense. In my opinion, all of this, it doesn't make any sense. Now we get into the amenities, which they're obviously hotel grade style or whatever. But the whole point of this is, did the market hit the bottom? Which I sincerely believe it did not. And going back, speaking to people, they said there's no way, because of the cost initiative in order to build a house, buying a lot, building it yourself, it'll cost you more than actually purchasing that property at today's prices in the market. And this is obviously the contradiction. I made a video on that. I'll make another video with a little bit more detail, but it just goes to show you that it's a paradox. Like, we cannot move forward with new projects. We like, the price cannot be stabilized because the income cannot support it, and we don't have the third party people, investors, people that are willing to own more than one property that can actually afford it and sink their money into Toronto GTA market. So it just kind of cancels itself out almost, right? So it brings me to another point. What are we hoping for? I mean, I believe 2026, as mentioned in many of my videos in 2024 and 5, I mentioned that 2026 is going to be a catastrophic year, and there's no chance that we could come back. So now, thinking about 2027, I know it is early, but I don't think even 2027 will see the daylight, because we cannot reverse this downfall as quickly with what we are dealing with on a global scale. So I hope you gained some value out of this video. Please like, share, and subscribe. I'll see you in the next one.